I love history, learn from it. But for us, the focus, no matter who we're playing, no matter the rankings, records, I try to say that when we're playing a team that you automatically think we should be. I take the same approach. You have to. And for us, we have yet to see our team play 60 minutes. That's the approach. That we're going into week 7. We have yet to see a 60-minute game where fundamentals, execution, discipline, and physicality over a 4-quarter game. And no matter who you're playing, that's the goal you're working for. We just got off the field on a Tuesday morning practice, and guess what? I always say I want to see a better Tuesday practice than we did a week ago. And I believe we did. And it comes down to our fundamentals. Can we take those fundamentals now and do it in pressure situations, a hostile environment? And it's our responsibility to be able to execute those fundamentals when a pass rush is coming and we need good footwork from our quarterback, or pad level from our offensive line, or run fits and tackling from our defensive backs and linebackers, and pad level and hand placement for our defensive line. So those things, no matter what. Okay. Is there an opportunity this week? Yeah, we're playing the number 1 team in the country. And they're in our league. You're always going to have the number 1 team in the country in our league. So for us, though, it's still about us. And can we get the Penguins to be able to play for 60 minutes? If you do those things and you can execute, you give yourself a chance in every football game that you play. I wish there was a magic form. There isn't. Practice execution becomes game reality, playing with great fundamentals, playing for 60 minutes, not letting your mind wander, staying focused on the task at hand. And those are the things that, we've made mistakes here over the last 6 weeks, and, we need to keep correcting it, keep talking about it. But guess what? It's our responsibility. We have an opportunity to go at 2:00 Central Time and see if we can improve on those things and put it all together, because I do believe we can put it all together.
From game 1 to now, what kind of growth have you seen?
Same thing. He's still a young guy. And when he plays with great fundamentals, guess what happens? We execute. And I can go back to the pick game where they're blitzing, and when his feet are set, he can deliver the ball. And he knows, it's not like they can watch film and determine, man, what was I doing? And, you don't do it in practice, but you do it in a game. Now in the game, they're coming after you. They're coming after you to attack. So for him, I think it's that growth where, I know I have the fundamentals to do it. I've seen it in games be able to do it. Now I got to go back and execute that for 4 quarters of football. So for me, he's going to continue to grow in that sense. And I think he realizes that, ultimately he don't worry about stats or, the goal for any quarterback is to get wins for your football team. And we were able to do that on Saturday, and we'll try to find a way to do that this coming Saturday.
With so many new guys on this roster that haven't had this experience, what are you telling them to expect? Not just because they're the number 1 team, not just because of their skill, but because of the experience in general.
Yeah, count how many practices they've had in the last 4 years. You play 15 games. You guys can do the math. That's extra 5 weeks of practice every year. That's 10 weeks. That's 15 weeks. That's 20 weeks. So they might have lost maybe a couple offensive linemen, but those kids that replaced them had extra 20 weeks of practice that nobody in the country has had. So, what success breeds is those guys getting prepared so when the opportunity comes. And, I give them all the respect because they built it the hard way. They built it through time, consistency. Coach Diggs was there for how long? When he won that, he went out on top. But to build it in recruiting and the fundamentals, when you look at South Dakota State, that's what you want to look like. Fundamentally sound. Okay. You sometimes know what they're going to do, but they are so fundamentally sound, technique sound. They're going to play a 60-minute game. They're going to execute. They got a great quarterback, great running back, great offensive line, a defense that, is very opportunistic. And they wait. They wait for you to make mistakes. You watch all their games, whether it's a block punt against Villanova in the playoff games to a block punt against UNI or 4 turnovers from UNI. Last year, they scored to go up 10-0. What do? We throw a pick the very next play. And they wait for that. They thrive on that. So you cannot beat yourself when you're playing a team like that. And, that's the thing that you try to get in practice and give the looks as fast as you can. So when you go in there, you can play mistake free, whether it's penalties, whether it's ball security, your special teams, winning the field position battle. There's a lot of things that go in every week of winning a football game. But when you're going against a team that's really been on a roll like them, it accentuates it even more. So again, do our kids understand that? I'm not telling them anything new this week that we haven't been talking about for the last 3 months in preparation. And the goal of a head coach, and this is why we coach, we want to see our kids succeed. We want to see our kids put it together. And that ultimately is why we play the game. And what a great opportunity to go to Brookings, South Dakota, and get to play number 1 team that's really on a roll that, that's what everybody wants to be like. And we get to see it in our league week in and week out.
What about the environment out there?
We were there in COVID, so it's going to be a lot different. I'm sure the hobo days, and, we got to be able to deal with crowd noise, and we got to, it's like, it's not going into a dome, but there are going to be a lot of fans, I'm sure. The loudness of it, don't know, but we got to prepare for that, especially on the offensive side of the ball and our cadence and, special teams and, that such to get ready for that type of hostile environment.
Obviously, Gronowski's been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the best or one of the best?
If you're basing a quarterback on wins, which we do, yes. You get that many wins in your career, you can count as losses. There's probably not too many. And beat your rival, I think that speaks volumes of itself.
With regards to putting together a complete 60-minute game, what do you still want to see from both the offense and the defense in order to accomplish?
We still got to be able to stop the run. We say it every day. What wins football games is a relentless defense. That wins football games. If you don't have a relentless defense, you can score as many points as you want. It don't matter. It's a relentless defense that is discipline, toughness, fundamentals, run fits, tackling, not giving up big plays, eye discipline by your corners and safeties. And that's one thing when you turn on the tape and you watch them, their eyes are all on that quarterback and they're playing on top of them. They're breaking on the ball and making sure there's no missed tackles. They're not getting beat by explosive plays. And that's always the goal of a defense. And there's a reason why they're a championship level team. They got a relentless defense that goes at it for 4 quarters. They're going to stop the run where they give up less than 2 yards per average on the run. And when you're doing those things, you're going to win a lot of football games. And that's where I want to see this defense continue. Offense, we always say score points, but they got to be opportunistic. When the defense is in the game and playing well, opportunistic, can we get first downs? Not always need to score touchdowns, but I don't know if we need to see 3 and outs in the third quarter of a football game. We need to see a first down. That's being opportunistic. Can we move the ball? Can we run the ball when they know you're going to run the ball? That measures toughness. How you come out after halftime, that measures toughness. So for me, offensively, it's going to always start with, can you run the football? And then it's got to be ball security. And then we got to find ways to get the guys, because I believe we have A-plus guys, how we can get the ball in space to them so they can make some explosive plays. So those are probably, hope I didn't go too in depth, but that's on the mind every day as we prepare for a practice that we want to see.